Burn Live, Burn Water, tagging red eyes, changing computers eyes, keeping underage smoking off of social media, killing myself or ourselves for your entertainment. Sitting here recording and family starting a conversation. Yeah. What up, y'all? I don't know where it came from. What up, y'all? Welcome to the Burn Live Show. I appreciate y'all. Helping build it. You know what I'm saying? Like what people function man. It's Tuesday, y'all. Tuesday. Tuesday is just like Monday should be. It's all about the news, the facts, the rules, and what's going on. Yesterday was weird. I had everything planned out for you guys, and everything was supposed to go right. And I knew what I wanted to talk about. I knew the video that I wanted to show off, and then the main video that I was looking for yesterday, I couldn't find it. So it kind of ruined it at the end for me. So I only had live, so it had to be a good show. It must have been a good show. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed watching videos, and today I was watching a lot of videos, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really have to start really expressing myself. I don't think that I express myself how I really want to or how I need to. I think I'm holding back. You think that I'm holding back. And if you feel that I'm holding back, you know what I'm saying, you feel like I feel. Like I'll be holding back some of the words that I'm going to say because I'm still young. And podcasting business, I don't want strikes and stuff. I want. It's not even about me offending. I don't even want to offend the business that I'm making with a whole other company that that I haven't started fully. That's basically the reason why most of the time I am the way I am, or I question what I question. But I'm watching shows, and I know these people got it. I'm saying? Here I get it. Man, the point is to don't express myself. I just can't express myself. I really need to hang this business up. So that's what I'm definitely going to be working more on, is really express myself, put myself out there. Hopefully you don't get too controversial with the things that I put up. I'm saying the same stuff that I normally be saying. Just with a little bit more fun. It might be funny to me, maybe not funny to you, but I'm not here to harm or hurt nobody. Right there. The other news, a lot of political news is going on. Really trying to keep quiet because today we're talking about the day that Joe Biden and the Congress sat down and worked on working on a deficit, working on the economy, working on sitting up there, trying to come up with a reasonable number. That, hey, this is our set goal. Making it reasonable paper. That's probably going to be one of the biggest controversial things they ever talk about and bring up. And probably will be one of the biggest. There's two others, but proper tax bracket will probably be a good discussion because each state has the ability to tax how they feel necessary to tax. So you can't just, you know what I'm saying, each state has their own right. And we, the people, do not want the federal government coming in and say, hey, this is one tax break. Yeah, this is what everybody wants. I've been doing smaller stuff here in case I get more information on it, how to deliver a proper conversation of talking about tax bracket and how it should go and how it should look at. Another thing is going on in the news today. transfer the community still feel like we're being attacked. There's more videos out there of not being attacked, of them just shouting out, screaming, being obnoxious, loud. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos. I'm doing a little some things that's going on. I don't know if there's Marvel fans in the building, but I just found out love season 2 come out. We start calling stuff like that. DC comic books, other little news of things that I do. I'm just gonna randomly throw them out from the beginning. Like this. So like I said, with Marvel, I'm a book nerd. The reason why I started out with nerd was you can be smoking marijuana and think that people that's talking about comic books and movies and watch it like they're coming from the farm and shut it down. That's why I left that alone.
Understandable.
But Loki season 2 will be coming out this year in October. They're gonna put two other shows up before it. Secret Invasion, and another one that I'm not really 100% sure I haven't.
Yo, Bash,
Today
you tripping on them
we'll
hoes?
start up the NBA Conference Finals with the Lakers versus Denver. I think that game was in Denver. Lakers game 1, I do believe. I didn't think they were going to pass Denver. I'm predicting they're going to pass Denver. Other than that, I really first did not really care. But you know what I'm saying? I do like sports. It's a different through those sports. So Denver did win game 1, 132 to the 6. I can't say his name, but they call it Joker. Yeah, 34.
Mm-hmm.
Put up the highlights. The conference finals for hockey starts Friday. I think Thursday or Friday. So I will be talking about that. When they started baseball, there was a lot of baseball sports. And that everybody used to do a lot of that. Baseball, just to go down. Let me go down the road real quick. Hopefully I don't. Boston beat Seattle 9-4. Toronto, New York beat Toronto 6-3. Miami beat Washington 5-4. Detroit beat Pittsburgh 9-1. Baltimore beat Los Angeles 3. Dodgers is playing at the top of the 7th with Minnesota, just 3-1. Minnesota. Philly is playing San Francisco. They're at the top of the 8th. 2. There's a 6 playing San Diego. Top of the 9th. Well, they ended up basically home for 7-2. I went to the bottom. I'm not sure. Oakland A's got 8-8. Arizona. There's Disney Sports. I just thought Also, I'm just I just said, it like it was a chase in LA, and that was a month ago. Unfortunately, but not with this. Y'all look over you got about I haven't been shut out my time, shut out my life like I thought you do because of the fact that I guess I've been shut out too much. I've been shut out into the wrong group. So there's been groups out there that's been trying to, I guess, not like my stuff. So therefore, they gave me a restriction. And then so they gave me a restriction. Now I'm trying to get my more. So now it's really gotta find another way to shut out my content. I guess I'm gonna just start showing. I would love to show out, but I'm gonna start doing my live content now as me recording. I'm just gonna treat it like a recording, and then I'm gonna share it out later, so I can be more reassuring of what I'm sharing, and find more groups that watch content. Hires put out, hires getting, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. These two things, you rant me, you know, I'm not I got first little boots of the day. Other day. Because we got footage of Barack Obama visiting. I thought it was Joe Biden, but it looked like it's not. We can check it out. See what's going on.
Tell you about John Durham's scathing report finding the FBI at fault for a politically charged investigation of Donald Trump's alleged ties to Russia. Our next guest says Democrats in the Oval Office.
I was hoping they was going to slide and I could not talk about that, but since they just opened it up for me to discuss, I wouldn't be talking about that. So, oh yeah.
We're in on this from the very beginning. House GOP Conference Chair Elise Stefanik is here to explain. Good morning to you, Congresswoman.
Good to be with you, Ainsley.
Well, good to have you on here. This just basically confirms what we already knew. But the FBI went on with this investigation, even though, according to Durham, they didn't have the right to investigate, and there was no evidence of collusion between Trump and Russia.
This is an absolutely scorching and stunning report, and every American should take the time to read this report in its entirety. At the highest levels of government, all the way up to the Oval Office with President Obama and then Vice President Joe Biden, they were aware not only that there was no predicate for launching this crossfire hurricane investigation into Trump, but in fact, they had intelligence and evidence that this was planted by the Hillary Clinton campaign. So they had contrary evidence that shows that there was no purpose to open this investigation, and not a single high-ranking official stepped in to stop this political witch hunt. And what this means, Ainsley, is this is the weaponization of the federal government at the highest levels. We should not have important institutions like the Department of Justice and the FBI willing to do the political bidding of Democrats. And what is also disappointing is the salivating mainstream media were all too eager to serve as the stenographers for the Hillary Clinton campaign and the far left, just like they do today. So this is a stunning report. We need to continue to focus on accountability. There is a cultural rot in the FBI that needs to be rooted out to save it from itself.
What do you say also about the fact that people's lives were turned upside down? You had people that were taking out second mortgages on their homes to pay for their attorney bills. You had like General Flynn, and you had Papadopoulos. You had Manafort, who was in solitary confinement as a result of all of this and these investigations. And then Donald Trump, who was the president at the time. He won and then continued to hear Russia, 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 and all these investigations throughout the time when he was in office, when he could have been focused on things for the American people, but instead had to spend so much time on this.
Lives were ruined because of this illegal weaponization of the FBI and DOJ to do the political bidding of the Hillary Clinton campaign. And you're exactly right, Ainsley. Look.
Okay. Lives was ruined. I doubt it, except for the president. You know what I'm saying? His family. So yeah, she's right. Okay, never mind, take it all back.
Look at those individuals, whether it's Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, both who are fairly young in their careers. Their lives were ruined irreparably. And then think about the trillions and trillions of earned media that the left was able to perpetrate as part of this false political witch hunt. And the people who ultimately suffered, of course, President Trump suffered, but it was the American people who suffered, because this country, we are facing significant challenges. And I give President Trump so much credit. We achieved so many important results, whether it was the updated U.S., Canada, Mexico trade deal, whether it was his strong border security policy, but every single day, that administration was dragged down by having to respond to these false smears and false stories based upon this illegal crossfire hurricane. And ultimately, it's the American people who suffered.
Well, because of that political smear, because of these lies that many people knew about, they need to be held accountable. They can't get away with this. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for coming on with us.
Thank you, Ainsley.
You're welcome.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley.
So, y'all know the Democratic Party was like, people like, that said the Russian illusion and stuff like that. Like, we need to be locked up. We was radical Trump supporters. We're not radical rights. You know what I'm saying? We should be locked up. Now they're coming out, documenting, they're admitting that it wasn't real. Now, the question is, how many other stuff have they made up? They stretch. The Democratic Party has stretched and stretched and stretched the law or rumors. Anything they can do to stop Trump from exposing. And when people like me and the black conservative stations and Fox News or anybody out there that speaks out, speaks loudly, proudly, that, hey man, Trump ain't had nothing to do with Russia. And I said it a long time ago. I don't care if Trump and Russia sit down and be having meetings and talking. That's what president's supposed to do. But yeah, if I would have found out that they were really truly friends and they was hanging out and they was chilling, they was high-fiving, they was golfing and you know what I'm saying, they was touching on little kids out there in Russia together, then yeah, I would have a problem just like you. I would have a problem just like you. Just like if they did not have to go out of their way to make up a case to still come to the conclusion that he may have touched on a person that was over 20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago.
I would have had a problem too. I just don't see how we can still sit up here and blame this person yet again for the misunderstanding and the mishap of what? Of ideas, thoughts, powers. Basically, that's basically what I see. I just see the side that pouted, and then they talk about us as conservatives, who we don't pout. We sit back. We waited for the evidence to come out. We seen the evidence come out, and then we let it be known what the evidence is. We show it out. We repeatedly show it over and over in videos. You know what I'm saying? All of us make content on it. But then we're still looked at wrong and ignorant and dumb. And if you don't believe me, this guy right here, I'm finna bring up his video.
Yesterday, you saw how
It's because he's full Democrat. He goes to the press meeting. He reads everything. He reads everything. So, of course, he's gonna have something. And y'all, when y'all read the title, he puts dumb in his title. So he literally be calling people dumb to their faces. Well, what would you do August 23rd? That's what that video is about? My guy just sent me a video. Let's see. Did you send it to me on Messenger? Send it to me on Messenger. I can't answer that question, y'all. I brought it up because I'm going to look into that hopefully tonight. But send me that video. But what I want to show y'all guys right now. You wanted me to say, welcome to the YouTube side. I ain't never said it up so many times in my life. I feel like a back of business. Okay, what's going on? There we go. So, he loves talking bad about Fox News. And so, I like talking bad about him. But listen to how he's going to talk compared to how I'm going to just see how he talks.
I had to sit here and just destroy Harris Faulkner and the rest of those fools and outnumbered who straight up lied about President Joe Biden's speech to Howard University at the commencement on Saturday. And it seems that after his speech, it really pissed off the entire Fox ecosystem, which means that they sent out the talking points, attack Biden on him attacking white supremacy. That's typically what happens when you see all the Fox shows repeating the same talking points. So Fox and Friends the day after, you have Rachel Campos Duffy, Peter Hegseth, and Will Cain. They were talking about his speech and...
Okay. His speech that he gave at a black college, y'all. At a black college. He talked about white supremacists. Because the FBI says the number one thing that's hurting black folks in America is white supremacists. But ain't them the same people, the same company, the same entity that just admitted that they was following Russia knowing that it was a host? Ain't they the same company that knew that the Mexican guy was going to shoot and he was a white supremacist? It's funny how he's going to back up all that, but he's not going to say nothing about how they just got discredit on information that they've been following for
How long?
6 years. Since Trump got in office, his 4 years, and Biden almost been in Trump for, so that's almost 8 years. So we're looking at 6, 7 years. I'm gonna just say 6 to be safe.
Who?
Listen to this.
Listen to the sheer hatred and stupidity that comes out of these fools' mouths.
Diversity. He didn't talk about the border. He didn't talk about the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. He didn't even talk about the threat of Islamic terrorism. Instead, he said the biggest threat to our country is, in fact, the threat of white supremacy.
That's right. He said.
Stop right there. Okay. So Will Cain, who I repeatedly destroyed when I was at CNN, he decided, oh, Biden didn't talk about this or this or this. Oh, he's like, oh, the biggest threat is white supremacy. All right. So, okay. I want y'all to remember that particular point because I'm going to play a law enforcement expert who literally called that the greatest threat. So just we gonna get to that in a second, but just play more of the Fox News stupidity of Will Cain, Rachel, and Peter Hegseth.
That, meanwhile, a record number of actual terrorists, as you talked about, suspects have been coming across our border. Take a look at this list here. So we have in October through March, in 2022 alone, 98 people. Look at the increase.
Look at the one in the bottom right. That's 4 years combined. 8 total on the terror watch list encountered. These are the encounters, by the way, not the gotaways.
Exactly.
So far, 168. It's just listening to that speech, so divisive, so cynical. It plays into the conversation they want to be having about MAGA Republicans and threats to democracy. It's not grounded in actual threats, or at least ones that I just look at it and I go, this is where we're at. And it's so
Stop.
It's not true.
Now, I want you to understand, this conversation was actually held on the 1-year anniversary of the shooting in Buffalo where 10 black people were gunned down by a white supremacist, by a racist. No mention of that. And then you see look at that bottom right number. Look at the number. There were more white domestic terrorists on January 6, 2021 than they claim that's crossing the border. Oh, and then
What? See, and black people will go for that. Black people will listen to that all fucking day. Mm-hmm. Black people will listen to that shit all day. Got me up here cussing. There were more terrorists January 6th that's crossing the border.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, y'all. See, like, come on, man. That's the border crisis. Border crisis is over everybody's news. It's in Chicago. It's in New York. Where do you hear about white supremacists going on in Chicago? Where do you hear about white supremacists going on in California? Where do you hear about white supremacists going on in New Mexico, Texas? I've yet to want to hear these stories about white supremacists. If anybody out here that watches my show, please shoot me all the video of white supremacists going on in your community. Shut me up. Shut me up. Please, somebody, I'm begging somebody to shut me up, of stories. Not the major stories that hit social media where everybody know. No, I want to hear the stories of true white supremacists, of the KKK taking over, the Proud Boys taking over, Because I'm learning about these so-called white supremacist groups. I'm hearing about them,
Mhm.
but I don't see no video of them. And if you're gonna say the riot, that was just one video. That's one. Uno mas. I can't believe that he said the border, and they've been
Crying.
immigrants been crossing the border for how long? For how many years?
Forever.
Really? Okay. Okay. Sure.
You heard him. Well, they would have blamed MAGA. Yeah. And then on the exact same day that they were complaining about Biden's speech, you had hundreds of racist patriot folks, the patriot right, marching in Washington, D.C. Literally,
Show it.
they were marching
Show it.
in Washington,
Show
D.C.
it. Show it. Show it. Show it.
Oh,
Show it.
I guess Fox News didn't get the memo or the email about that racist march. Okay, more of the stupidity.
Believe it to be true. Yeah.
That's right.
Anybody watching the show, and I'm like, why? Show it. I want to see it. Oh, I hope to God he showed it.
You know, if he believed it to be true, we'd be talking about a level of incompetency that would be unmatched in the Oval Office, in the White House. If it were to be true, we'd be looking at a president that is totally ignorant of the threat of the Chinese Communist Party, Islamic terrorism, terrorists coming through the southern border. We would be looking at a president so frivolous and ignorant that it would represent in and of itself a national security threat.
The sheer ignorance, the incompetence, the stupidity is you, Will Kane. Is you, Rachel Campos Duffy. Is you, Peter Hegseth.
It's me, Byron.
Well, the three of you combined don't even have the IQ to match Joe Biden.
Wow. Damn. Damn.
That's
You three are sheer idiots.
Sure idiots.
But we haven't gotten to the good stuff just yet. Press play.
But it's not true. And
No.
he doesn't believe it's true. It's a pander. And it is a naked and shameless and an embarrassing pander that he has to.
All right. Will Kane just said it's not true. I want y'all to put a pin in that video right there. And I want y'all to right now play. Here's the video of the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Christopher Wray,
FBI.
speaking
FBI.
white domestic terrorism and the threat to the homeland.
We're also keeping our eye on domestic terrorism from people who've come up with their own customized belief systems and hope to advance them through violence. We have, through the third quarter of this fiscal year, had about, give or take, 100 arrests in the international terrorism side, which includes the homegrown violent extremism. This year. But we've also had just about the same number, again, don't quote me to the exact digit, on the domestic terrorism side. And I will say that a majority of the domestic terrorism cases that we've investigated are motivated by some version of what you might call white supremacist violence, but it includes other things as well. A huge chunk of those domestic terrorism investigations involve racially motivated, violent extremist motivated terrorist attacks. And the majority of those, of the racially motivated violent extremist attacks, are fueled by some kind of white supremacy. And I would say that the most lethal activity over the last few years has been committed by those type of attacks. It used to be that some angry, demented guy living in mom's basement Not that there's anything wrong with that. In one part of the country is now able to communicate with the similarly angry guy in grandma's attic in another part of the country, and they get each other spun up now. And how to separate who's being aspirational versus who's being intentional. It won't shock you to learn, and hopefully not other members of the committee, that the amount of angry, hateful, unspeakable, combative, violent even rhetoric on social media exceeds what anybody in their worst imagination is out there. Terrorism moves at the speed of social media, and you have the ability of lone actors.
Terrorism moves at the same speed as.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard what I've heard. I've heard that, okay, there's terrorism out there. The person that act, it has some rhetoric, it's mostly rhetoric of white supremacists, but how and where? And where? The biggest problems that I see that you can go outside and somebody put it in the comment, what the hell do you see? I see prices going up, and I see a lot of people that don't have home. Housing and immigrants. Two major things that's going on in this country. Now, people can call me what they want to call me, say what they want to say, but this right here, where is it? This is just one person, but show more proof than just him just keep saying it over and over and over and over and over. Okay, cool. I see it. I got this one guy. I believe that he knows something that I don't know. But can he show what he's talking about?
Disgruntled in one part of the country to spin up similar like-minded individuals in other parts of the country and urge them into action.
Here we have the head of the FBI laying out the sheer threat of white domestic terrorism. Go to my iPad. This here's the New York Times. Top law enforcement officials say the biggest domestic terror threat comes from white supremacists. Who says that? The Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. It's his job to actually know these very threats. Last year, a former head of the Department of Homeland Security's intelligence branch filed a whistleblower complaint in which he accused the department of blocking a report about the threat of violent extremism and described white supremacists as having been exceptionally lethal in the abhorrent target attacks in recent years. Who was the president the previous year? The president the previous year was Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who welcomed those white supremacists on January 6th. But on Fox News, oh no, Biden's the problem. They say Biden's lying, Biden's incompetent. The same Biden who spoke about the threat of white supremacy in his State of the Union address this year, in his address to Congress, the joint session when he first got there. This ain't new. Ain't the first time he said it. But you gotta understand.
That's probably the favorite thing that black folks love to hear. Boy, that's just itching. I'll bet you if I start saying, oh, white supremacists, man, I'll probably have views up there. Everybody be watching this shit out of me. But we just showed a video. The first video was the same FBI agent admitting that he was all wrong about the Russian collusion against Trump. But white supremacists, that same guy that was in office before Joe Biden. Make that make sense. How you gonna be right about white supremacists but wrong about the Russian collusion? I guess he didn't get that memo. I guess he didn't get that memo. And ain't nobody gonna hear his video and call him out on it because he loves to bring people onto his show. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna meet on middle ground nowhere in front of no people and debate a real debate. I ain't gonna lie to you. These guys, like him right here, definitely too commercialized to be thinking that he gonna go on a real neutral ground somewhere and really debate somebody. Like, stop playing with this boy. And like you said, he used to be on CNN. He wants to. Okay, whatever. So I seen this video earlier. I didn't think it was real.
We're coming up on
I didn't think it was real. I didn't get to see it fully. They had already made a video of it. They say Elon Musk goes Kanye wet. That's just what he put. So it caught my eye. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, I gotta hear what's going on.
election. I mean, it's a ways away, but it's going to all start. President Trump is allowed back on the platform. He hasn't actually come back.
Right.
But one would imagine if and when he does, or there are others who will say 2020 election was rigged. Is that something, I assume that's not something you believe?
Well, I think the answer is nuanced. Do I believe Biden won? Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted for him.
I did, actually.
Do you regret that?
I mean, man, I wish we could have just a normal human being as president. That's what I want. I think if we could, you know, there's that old saying of like, we're better off being run by people picked at random from the phone book than the faculty of Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but it was someone very wise. And I would say if we could do that for the president, that would be great.
You think that would be beneficial? So you're not, obviously you're not happy with Biden.
Don't we all just want a normal human being to be
Whatever
the president?
that means, whatever,
No,
I'm not even sure anymore what normal means.
No, but I mean, like, you know, just, I don't know, just a...
You want somebody who's competent.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
Yes, I think definitely somebody's executive ability is underrated. Since the president is effectively the chief executive officer of the country, it actually matters if they're a good executive officer.
Yeah.
It's not simply a matter of do they share your beliefs, and you know, but are they good at getting things done? There's a lot of decisions that need to be made every day. Many of them are unrelated to moral beliefs. You know,
Right.
And you just want a good executive. Because they're CEO of America.
They are.
So we want a good CEO of America.
Did y'all see some of them stock prices before he get to renting on and get to talking and we get to learning something? Did you see them stock prices? It was a lot of red. Damn.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about Elon Musk, who just got done pissing off the right, okay, because he hired an NBC advertising executive to be the CEO of Twitter, okay? So conservatives are upset because they say, hey, the guy hired a woke WEF executive who hates free speech to run a platform that Elon Musk claimed that he bought for the purposes of free speech, okay? So conservatives feel betrayed, okay? They're pissed off at Elon, okay? Now Elon Musk has upset the left, okay, because he has come out and criticized their Lord and Savior, George Soros, right, who can't be criticized at all because he's Jewish, right? again, this is the dilemma of being in the middle, right? This is the dilemma of being a moderate. Okay, this is why moderates are the real silent majority in this country. Okay, because you just piss off both sides if you're in the middle. But anyways, Musk came out here and told Twitter, right? He said George Soros hates humanity and compared him to the Jewish supervillain Magneto, right? Who is a Marvel supervillain. And now the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, aka the Anti-Free Speech League, has condemned Elon Musk in his comments. And Elon Musk, doing an interview with CNBC, was actually asked about these comments, and he refused to back down in regards to his criticisms of George Soros. Take a look.
Properly, but I mean, you know what you wrote, but you
I said
basically.
it reminds me of Magneto's. It's like, calm down, people. It's just not like made a federal
Well,
case out of it.
You also you said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. Like, when you do something like that, do you
Yeah, I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you? Why not just say, hey, I think this? You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it? Why?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it's got it puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
I believe that probably is the case.
Yes.
But why would you even introduce the idea that would be the case?
I mean, look, we don't want to make this a George Soros interview.
No, God, no. I don't want to at all. But what I'm trying.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Okay.
Elon, don't give one F. Okay, I see exactly why he was annoyed, right? Because I would be annoyed as well too. Okay, because these people that work at CNBC, a lot of these people probably got some stock ownership in Tesla, and a lot of people are pissed off at Elon, right? Tesla stockholders are pissed off at Elon because they're saying Elon's not spending enough time saving the world, right, with Tesla. Okay, and they feel like his attention towards Twitter and free speech is stopping him from doing more with Tesla. So this guy is basically trying to ask Elon, like, why would you say that? Why would you say something in a country where you're supposed to be allowed to speak freely? Because, you're going to piss off the woke advertisers, right? You don't want to be political. And Elon is like, bruh, I mean, this is just my opinion, right? This is my opinion. But again, Elon Musk is learning ever since that he got into politics that, when you're in politics, you're expected to pick a side, okay? If you stay in the middle, right, that's how you get burned the most, okay? Because the left thinks that Elon Musk is a far-right white supremacist, okay? They think that he's an anti-Semite simply for criticizing George Soros, and he's never going to be able to shake it off. Okay? He probably has ruffled the wrong
I don't know. That Elon being Kanye West saying what he want to say, and he got it right. You know what I'm saying? I hope I don't be in no predicament where I be. And I know I am. I ruffle feathers just speaking in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I need to find me some more conservative friends. Mm-hmm. But that's just my problem. But this is interesting.
Recent series of tweets saying they have a quote anti-Semitic feeling to it. Yesterday, Musk launched a baseless Twitter attack against George Soros, the progressive Jewish philanthropist who's often the target of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Musk tweeted that Soros reminds him of Magneto, a comic book supervillain. Both, of course, Soros and Magneto are Holocaust survivors and Jewish. Musk's reply, he wrote, Soros does not have good intentions and, quote, wants to erode the very fabric of civilization. Soros hates humanity, unquote. Obviously, it's not necessarily anti-Semitic to criticize George Soros, but the tweets do engage, critics say, in tropes that Jews are falsely cast as evil masterminds set out to harm the masses. Here to discuss, Sarah Fisher, CNN media analyst and Axios senior media reporter, along with Ted Deutsch, who's CEO of the American Jewish Committee, a former Democratic congressman from Florida.
I think this is what you would call white supremacists. This is white supremacists right here. I'm asking. I'm just asking. I don't know. Is this it? This is the Proud Boys in that? This is what they would show and tell us, and like, yeah, this is it right here. Michael, you got it all over your channel. It's all over your channel. You just answer your question by question. Really? Am I answering my own question? Somebody, y'all can put it in the comments, man. You know I'm gonna read that. I'll let you.
So, Sarah, Musk didn't say what prompted the attack, but you can't ignore the timing that Soros recently disclosed he had sold his entire holdings of stock in Tesla, which of course is owned by Musk. We're used to seeing controversial comments from Musk. Were you surprised by this?
I wasn't surprised by this, Jake. Musk has repeatedly, engaged in far-right conspiracies. You'll recall with the Paul Pelosi attack, he tweeted out misinformation around that. But I think it is important to note that Elon Musk, who still runs a publicly traded business in Tesla, is going to have to be mindful of the fact that anytime he's going to pick on someone online for dumping his stock, he risks other people wanting to come in and buy it. And so, as a business person, this was not the strongest move. But Musk has long sort of held some of these, more Republican right-leaning beliefs. Shortly after he took over Twitter, he allowed a bunch of accounts back on the platform that had been banned, including some neo-Nazi accounts. And so to hear this type of rhetoric coming from Elon Musk, it's not totally shocking.
So here we have it once again. Any criticism of Jewish people or George Soros or anybody Jewish really is hate. Okay, even if you're just stating an opinion about a guy. Hey, I don't like the guy. I feel like maybe he's not good for humanity. I mean, I'm just being real. The woke DAs across this country that George Soros is funding, which is a fact. Okay, he is funding them, like woke DA Alvin Bragg, is definitely bad for this country. Okay, he is funding crime. Okay, in this country. Okay, he's funding the chaos and destruction that you're seeing in these cities because these woke DAs are soft on crime. That is a fact. Okay, but they're gonna say you're anti-Semitic, right? You're anti-Jew for simply stating facts, right, about a guy who happens to be Jewish in his political activities. It's just so hilarious how they work. You know that you're over the target with the left when they start accusing you of bigotry. Okay, as soon as they throw out the word transphobe or racist or anti-Semitic or xenophobic or bigot or whatever, as soon as they start throwing those things out, far right, right, you are over the target. Okay, you're over the target. You know that you're right on point. You're telling the truth, right? These people can't stand the truth. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Facts are not racist. Okay, again, these are the same people that melted down when people pointed out factually that yes, George Soros is funding woke DAs, right? Alvin Bragg is backed by George Soros. Okay, and now again, it's not directly, but I mean indirectly, he's backed by Soros. This is a fact.
The house of cards had already fallen down.
Yeah, and it's given like whatever 30 million to Democratic causes, and
the number two donor next to George Soros, which is fucking terrifying. Like,
that guy, how old is George Soros?
It's a good question.
Yeah, is he? He's like a vampire. Right?
I had a conversation with the governor of Texas about him, with Greg Abbott.
So, Magneto, vampire, Which is worse? You know, which is worse? Vampire? I don't think that's worse. I think that was a pretty. They both are funny.
Because Magneto only can move metal.
Rip it from your skin if you got metal in.
Only if you have metal in your skin, though.
Yeah.
Other than that, he can't touch you. Just like throw something at you.
You'll be surprised what's in your body that you can turn into metal.
True.
So yeah, I'm not dealing with him.
Neither.
That's funny.
But where he was explaining to me what George Soros does, and it's fucking terrifying, that he donates money to a very progressive, very leftist, whether it's a DA or whatever politician, and then funds someone who's even further left than them to go against them, and just keeps moving it along. So he's playing like a global game, and that he enjoys doing it.
Yeah, he enjoys doing it, but it's telling, right? He understood early on where you wanted to seize power, right? And that's, we sometimes think, I'm gonna, a senator that's the pinnacle of success. Well, it's not really. It's the DAs and it's the state level politicians.
Right.
So that's where real change occurs and where things can happen, and before you know it, it's like, what the fuck?
Or real corrosion.
Or real corrosion. Right,
That's
right.
what's scary, is it seems like he funds corrosion. It's like he wants these cities to fall apart. He wants crime to flourish. It's almost like he's an evil person in a Batman movie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he made his real fortune by almost busting the Bank of England, right? So he's not. Yeah, this guy is not. He's not out there for truth and justice.
And he's got to be deep into his 80s.
92 fucking two.
So you got to wonder, like, what keeps that guy fucking motivated? You would think that if you had that much money, you're 92 years old, you just.
Said, did y'all see his reaction? Dang, what keep that guy motivated?
Want to go fly fishing and sit on the deck and drink coffee and talk to your grandchildren and just enjoy your life. But he apparently does not want to do that.
He likes being the puppet master. Right?
That's what's wild.
Yeah, he likes pulling strings and he likes having that influence and that impact. And I guess, what the hell? I mean,
but he's uniquely public about it. That's what's fascinating. It's like, this is all known information.
Right.
That this guy is involved in all these different things that he has his hands in.
Yeah, and you could argue at least there's some transparency there, as opposed to, dark money going into campaigns and other things. And so but it is at 92. I had no idea he was 92. Good God.
You got to wonder, like, what's his end game? Like, when does he wrap this fucking project up?
Yeah, so according to the mainstream liberal media, that is an anti-Semitic
That can't be an anti-Semitic conversation. They had
right? Just to simply state your opinion about George Soros, along with the fact that, again, the guy seems to be funding the destruction of these American cities through woke DAs. Yeah, that's a form of hate and bigotry. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Elon, again, is finding out the hard way that this is how politics works. Okay, he might have criticized the wrong person and the wrong group of people on piss. Okay, let's see if he backs down. Let's see if he sticks with his guns, because we saw what they did to Kanye, right? Who was a billionaire right before he made those comments. Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna mess with Elon Musk like that. We all know. Hell no, they're not gonna mess with Elon Musk.
No, he has too much power and money.
I wouldn't say power, but a lot of good influence in the right areas. Because the one thing they can do, like he's saying, is they can buy him out. They can put him out, buy him out, and then he won't be nothing.
True.
But he didn't call him nothing like super bad. He didn't like super disrespect him. He didn't call him like the worst person that you can ever call somebody. He just called him a comic book villain. They called him a DC villain. And if you just look at these, I mean, they're villains, they're bad villains. There's no such thing as a good villain or a bad villain. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still an opinion. It's still an opinion. Basketball player Durant from the Memphis Grizzlies got suspended for doing something at the strip club or something. I heard. They even got
you pretend like you hard.
I'm gonna see how this video turned out. I heard about it. I didn't get too much into it, but you know, if somebody made a nice little video about it, I might as well just go watch it real quick, see what we can see what's going on.
But you're not, Ja. You got a $200 million contract, and you want people in the NBA to think you hood, to think you gangster, because you roll with these type of people, bro. You putting yourself in harm's way when you don't have to. Nobody looks at you, Ja, and think, man, that's a thug. He hood. He down. He about that. You not. Stop pretending. You're not gonna do nothing. What you're gonna do is get yourself in trouble, put yourself and your family in harm's way for street cred.
Flash a gun. You know, if he was like a gangster in the hood selling dope and struggling to make it, I get it, bro. You got to get it how you live. You are a multi-millionaire. Why are you flashing guns in a strip club and then get in trouble for it, and then flash after you signed a $195 million contract? You go flash a gun in a, I don't even know what kind of car they in. Look like a Rolls Royce. You flash your gun. Let me see what car it is. You flash your gun in a car. No, that's not a Royce. What kind of car is that? Is that a G-Wagon? Well, either way it go, it shouldn't be impounded. Why would he? But look, y'all follow me on this. I'm watching a video right now, and his homeboy, they thugging. So y'all just picture people thugging, and you know what I'm talking about. They in the car on IG Live. They jumping around in the car. His homeboy is got his hand up in the air in a signal like a gun. So he got a fake gun in his hand, and he's signaling like a gun. And then he happened to turn the camera on Ja, and Ja got a real gun in his left hand while driving a car with no seatbelt on. I cannot believe my eyes. Ja Morant is the kid's talent level is out of control. Ja Morant could be the next, I don't want to say LeBron.
Damn. That boy just jumped out the jail.
Because nobody's gonna be LeBron and Michael. But what do you think, Nick? Ja Morant could be one of the greatest basketball players. I don't watch basketball. I saw a highlight of Ja Morant run the court and boom on somebody, and I said, who is this guy? He dunking on everybody. Damn. The kid got skills. He's probably one of the most athletic basketball players in the league. And he just signed a $195 million contract that could be worth $200 million, $220 million. And what leadership, his daddy, I'm mad. You know what? I'm mad at his daddy.
But I'm telling you, this is the culture without a father. Now without a father having an impactful influence. But I'm gonna go to what Stephen A. Smith said, because I think, like I said, a broken clock, he's right twice a day. Wrote a clip.
Look in the camera, say what I'm about to say to Ja Morant. You are a superstar. You're 23 years old. You got a deal that kicks in next year that could exceed $231 million over the next 5 years. And on this show, on national television, there's you associated with police. Think about that for a second. And then ask yourself, is it really, really worth it? You know the answer to that, bro. It's not worth it. You can't have stuff. And last but not least, his dad, to T. Moran. Nothing but love and respect for you, sir. You are his daddy, not his friend, his daddy. I'm not saying you can't be friends, but you're his father. And so when we see this kind of stuff going on, all of y'all get lumped in because it ain't just a 23-year-old Ja Morant that needs to protect himself. It's all of you who love him, who want to protect him, who wishes for the best for him. You have an obligation to look out for him too.
His daddy be coming to the games. Bro, what are you doing?
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. That is crazy. That is crazy, bro. I don't shit. That's all I can say, because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Like, my brother, my boy, my son, my kiddo. I just hope he like that soccer player. I hope that money ain't his. I hope it's going to his mama or his daddy or somebody. I'm just keeping it real. They may not like me saying that, but I'm just keeping it real. That's just. And I do watch basketball a little bit, cause like I was gonna start my sports channel soon. Been talking to some people, and it's I don't know, it's still an idea in the working or whatever. But damn. You don't see too many stories about a person that came into the league like that. Now, they are out there. Don't get it twisted. There are stories out there. But it's not too many stories of people with that much talent get that much paper and can be damn near gone tomorrow. And most people that happen like that, we really don't know them and didn't know them until, like, you know what I'm saying, they said something, they did something. I think it's like maybe one player I do know, and I just recently heard of him. But this kid is electrifying. He's all over everything. He's selling jerseys and stuff like that. That boy. Well, I just thought of something dumb, but in the same token, I just thought when people got a certain amount of money and they do like the most obnoxious things before they get it, that just needs to be it out to everybody. Like now, unfortunately, it's Memphis, so hand that money out to Memphis, and you know, everybody. There we go. I'm just saying, only if he's not going to no more, do some crap like that. There's no way you can sit up there and just really spend that money like that and thought like it's be okay. No way. No way. No way, no. Really. Y'all see, I'm over here distracted. I'm talking to myself like, no way. No. Listen here, I'm crying and pissed off. I'm depressed about learning a story like that and learn that he can lose. Well, he probably gonna need to get something out of everybody. He finna start on another 100 somewhere here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what I'm not going to do. Just hold y'all on along. I appreciate it. Hey, man, like I said, stop people. for an hour, a little over an hour. So, I appreciate it so much. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. All right.